Test, test. Can you guys hear me? Can anybody hear me? I'm using my new headphones, right? Or not the newest ones, but they're like one stage better than my my old ones. I don't know if that means anything. But I've gotten a couple of like complaints about the sound with these. And so if it is bad at any time, please let me know so that I could switch it out. How you doing today, Deb? Hey, Pamela. Hey, Strange 369. That sounds like a Tesla thing, you know. I'm sure it was way before Tesla, but it sounds like something that he was talking about. Um, hey, Ray, how you doing? Ah, I'm telling you, it's hard to it's hard to like fit everything into like a 24-hour day, you know. I never thought that I would ever be this tired again, you know. But emotionally, right? Like, you know, on a personal level, right? This is really the best I've been emotionally, you know, in my life, you know. And so maybe it's good for me to stay busy, you know. And so you know, that it is what it is. Now, guys, I understand that you know, like today we had a great guest. I thought it was amazing, and I thought it was like a really good way to spend an hour. That's for sure, you know. And I do understand that always going to be, you know, back and forth debate about issues, right? Uh, and so don't ever feel obligated like you have to be involved with that if you know, if somebody's, you know, wanting an argument or wanting and it's sometimes it is good to discuss it and argue it out, and sometimes, you know, you don't have to if you don't want. And I don't go back, like, I rarely go back and re-listen to a show or read the chat, but I mean, if there's something you just want to like just let it go during the show and then point out afterwards, that would be like the best way to do it, you know. Hey, Silver's voice. Oh, it's good to see you. It's good to see you. Wow, that's a good group so far. I'm happy. 10 people already? No way, man. No way. It's gotta be a typo. I don't know 10 people want to listen to me. Uh, so like so after the uh you know, after the show this morning, I did get kind of an influx of messages about, you know, that people like the um people like Teresa and her testimony. And oh, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And I know what's going on. But no, so a lot of people uh messaged about how much they liked the stream, and that was awesome. And yes, yes, and so that was so refreshing, right? And then I had like a few things to do and some time to spend with a couple people, and you know, and then like I got like an hour of sleep, right? This hour. Oh, and my son called. My son called me, and then I talked to him for a little bit, and then I got an hour of sleep, and you know, it wasn't the best hour ever, you know, but it was decent, you know. And I was like, I think I can make it on this 1 hour, you know. I think I can, right? and then and then Urban, hey, how you doing, Anti-Venom? Yay! And then, hey, Watermelon, welcome. I haven't seen you before. Welcome here. That's awesome that you're here. And so, you know what? That would be great to be like to play bingo one day. You know, I've never really played. I mean, I've seen it played, and I remember like playing it and having a card, but I don't really remember playing it. But it would be fun to do that. You know, but yeah, and then so I got so I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it on this hour stream, and then Urban Disciples had a stream, and for a secular stream, I do seem to find a lot of good people out of that chat to invite back here, and some chats are like that, where it's you just keep finding people, diamonds in there, and so I went over there and I barely had time to say hello. And then I don't remember, and then I fell right back asleep. And then just in time to start the show basically. And so we've been praying for you, Anti-Venom. Hey Cindy, how you doing? I hope that you have been doing a lot better. And so yeah, I saw Pamela up there. I was happy to see her. Oh, she knows all about bingo. Oh, we got it. Oh, we got an in-house bingo expert. Where's the in-house bingo expert at? Will the real Slim Shady please stand out? I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm. It's like I don't give any time to like the troll channels, right? I really don't. But I understand the value that some people want to go look at that or process that in their own way, and that's okay. I know people that like that kind of thing. I don't know, not for me, but uh, I'm not one to judge anybody, right? And but I'll tell you what, like I'm always hearing about how people are like really standing up and standing up for what's right and what's good, and it's like wow, it's brave to stand up in this world, right? Uh, against I mean, it's like you can go to almost any channel, right? It doesn't even have to be like a troll situation, right? You can go to any channel and it's just blasphemy everywhere, people treating each other horrible. Uh, the whole world is just like all about overstimulation. Everything's over sexualized. Everything is, uh, I shouldn't say everything. Most things are just, it's just a horrible scene, It's not, and even it's getting down to the point, right? Where even people where I will be like, where I'll be like, what people I would consider regular people that are, they're decent enough, trying to do the right thing, right? Uh, can still get pretty racy, man. Too much for me, And there's a lot of times where I'm watching a stream of someone that really isn't that bad. It's just I can't hear certain things. I just immediately I grieve, my soul grieves over I don't know how I got so sensitive about things, but maybe that's part of it. Maybe the world is in a slow assimilation to getting more and more degraded, but like also maybe I've changed a lot and am a lot more sensitive to it. And I can imagine some of you like that have been in the word for decades, right? It's probably a shock to you, like to see where the world is, you know. But I try to tell people like, well, okay, so yeah, that's the bad side of it, right? And really there's no good part of that, right? Um, all I can say is that the story of our world, the story of our life, right? This is this is basically what our world is. What you know, like it's all been predicted that this is going to happen. And there was a time, right, before the flood that human beings, right, um, had evil in their hearts continuously. I mean, evil is a strong word, you know, like to imagine continuous evil in somebody's heart. But it's crazy now because I'm starting to, I hate to say it, right? I hate to say it, but I'm starting to see evidence of that again, that there are people that all day long, that's all they think about is evil, dissension. Um, they call the good things bad and the bad things good, and it's real. And so now, right, we're in a position, right, where uh, there are scriptures that predict and describe a pretty horrific scenario. But on the other hand, right, this is where the bright side comes in, right? It's so hard to find it, right? But here's the bright side, right? Is that I've never run into a scripture that um, hasn't been true as well as come true. And so that gives us a lot of great confirmation. It gives us a lot of great confirmation. And so there, I don't like to look at people as good or bad, right? I don't. Um, I'd say we're all equally imperfect. And then there's different levels of degradation. After that. But nobody's perfect, right? Nobody's better than anyone else. It's there's people behaving better than other people, right? And we could say that pretty safely. But everybody has an opportunity. Everybody equally, right now, this moment, has an opportunity to go to God for forgiveness. To ask forgiveness, accept the gift of salvation from Jesus, right? Have confirmation inside, right, that they're going to be moving on to a better, you know, uh, incorruptible place with an incorruptible body, and be able to like be in a world that we all want. And see, here's the thing, right? Like our neighbor that is not a saved Christian, and us on the inside, we all want the same thing, right? We all want to live our lives in a place where there's not, horrific things and pain and suffering going on, right? We all want that. Um, but the problem is with all these lies in this world, right? That now if you make a statement of truth, just hey, Jesus is our our Savior. He sacrificed for us. Now it sounds like that's a statement of judgment or condemnation, and it's not. It just is what it is. The sky is blue, right? And then we can all move on together. Hey, Urban Disciples, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming, man. Welcome. And I like going to your streams sometimes. I do. And it's a gold mine of like sometimes it's a great place to find good people to invite back here. And you're a talented guy. And so yeah, man. I mean, what a time in history to really be living, right? Like, yeah, sure, it's harder. It's harder, a lot harder. And I was talking to my son today, my youngest son, and I was talking about God and everything, and it's so he's still a young person that if I would have known what I know now, right, I wouldn't have put him in school, you know. I would have kept him out of school and found another way, but it's hard to undo, right? Absolutely, yeah, respect for sure. Absolutely. I can agree to that sentiment. But yeah, but with my son, it's like, hey Faith, how you doing? Good to see you. And so it's hard to undo these things, right? What the kids have been taught, right? Because now it's so hard to bring up God, right? Because it's almost as if the way they talk about God and science and all that stuff, right? It's like it it leads a person to think that it's an impossibility, you know, that and they try to say as a statement of fact that there's no evidence for God at all, right? And that it can't be a variable in any science experiment, right? So you can't say things like, okay, well, the sun's in the sky because of God, right? They got to come up with some kind of, you know, mechanical explanation of force. What's making it do that, right? Without knowing anything about the sun, they can't get near it, they can't touch it, right? And they can't use God as a variable. So if you can't use God as a variable, and if spiritual things aren't considered natural, well then uh, what you come up with cannot be reality. It can't be, you know, because you're take so it bothers me when they use terms like natural and supernatural, right? I don't like that at all, man. Why can't they just refer to everything as natural, you know? I mean, just God is a natural thing in the world. You know, I mean, he would be like the, you know, I'd have to go back and, you know, really look at words and stuff, right? But off the top of my head, he would be like the ultimate definition of something natural, you know? He's here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I'd have to look at the words, man. But yeah, to say that, okay, we're gonna find out what's keeping the sun in the sky. We're gonna do experiments and, you know, and all this stuff, right? Without being able to see or touch the sun or manipulate any variable at all. And we can't use God as a variable. That's just, I mean, wow. That's you're set up. You're so set up for, you know, just making something up, you know? So they teach these kids this stuff, right? And as if it's fact, right? That, you know, we're swinging around the, you know, we're a bunch of balls swinging around each other, you know, making all these orbital paths, and, you know, the light bulb is round, so the floor must be, you know, somehow spherical. I mean, but like the contrast, right, from um hey Michigander, how you doing? Welcome. Hey Camo, and who else snuck in here? Yeah, yo mama, how you doing? And I said hi to Camo. Hannah came in here. Hey Hannah, it's always great to see you. It's late for you. It's late for you. And yeah, what's up, Mr. Gander? Yeah, I ship them out. I mean, like, what can you do anymore, right? Oh, yes, yes, I want to hear that. That's what I want to hear. I got Jesus running through my veins, right? Oh yeah, wait, hold on. Hold on, let me see what I got. I got my, how do I do this again? Oh yeah, watch my banners up there. Let me see that. Do you see what it, and then I could change it back. But I had to put vacation in there instead of the real word because I'm learning how to use this stuff. Did you see that? How it changed to don't take any vacation shots. But yeah, that's what it is, man. Hey, look, I'm ready too. I'm ready to start the next phase of whatever this is. Look, the world is beautiful, right? The world is there's a lot of beauty to it. There's a lot of things to love about it, right? I love my kids, I love the mountains, I love the birds, I love everything, right? But there's a lot about it that I don't like. I don't, but I'm not trying to say this in any kind of suicidal way or any kind of like completely horrific way that like that I can't survive somehow out there and be happy, right? I could, right? I just after knowing what I know about this world and what we are, right? I know that there is another place for us where we could be where we could be better and not a slave to this suit, you know. Has anybody seen AJ Blunt? I haven't seen him in a little bit, and I don't know if I've seen him in a little bit, and I notice him not being here. That's for sure. And so if anybody sees him, say hello, please, and tell him that that he's missed. And I'm gonna try to get a message out to him. It says, if man can f it up, we can fix it. We have to figure out how to get that out of them. We got to protect the children. Yeah, I mean that's what it is, man. I mean, everything has to be right now. There's things I have to tell my kids, right? That it's hard, man. It's hard. I mean to say like, okay, well, everything you learn in school is basically all lies, right? That people are, you know, don't assume that people are good. Just assume right off the bat that people are evil. There are people out there that want to hurt you, right? And it's hard to say that, but that's what it is, and it's like it's the only way I can protect them is to tell them the truth, right? But it also is like that's a pretty heavy thing to put on a kid, is that you know that people uh, people just aren't good inside, and some are, but you got to assume almost that they're not, and that's hard, because when I was a kid, right, and of course this was a false sense of security, but I used to think that the grown-ups had everything figured out, like, oh, we got a president, he's handling stuff, and we got scientists working on stuff, and everything's, all the everyone's in it to make humanity better. Like there would be nothing that would make humanity better than anyone would hide. Uh, but that's not the world that we were. That was very far off from what the truth was. And then when I became an adult, right? And I did have to kind of grow up fast, right? Boo hoo. But a lot of us have to, right? No big deal, right? But it is what it is, right? Younger people are having to grow up fast, and for them it's unfair, And but for me, hey, I'm glad it's me than somebody else, Um, and so like, yeah, I mean that's it. That's the future. You're right. Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. Well, it's disappointing, Michigan, right? That you got people standing around, right, and not really doing anything, right? And but what can you do, right? At this point, right? I know that that's no excuse not to do anything. We should be doing stuff, right? And I try to like wake people up, right? But is that really something? Am I really doing anything? I don't think so. I mean, this narrative is like written out to where like this is the way it would be in the end, right? And so I'd say the best way to like to be active, right, and to do something, right, like to be part of the solution is to help your immediate people, like your kids, your nieces, your nephews, right? You know, s- start start small, make any kind of change, any kind of difference for anybody, and don't feel like any difference is too small, and that I think the world could change very fast if we all just took responsibility for our our own young people in our lives, right? And try to lead them right, and see at the beginning of this, truth, I say that in quotes, right? This truth discovery and this truth journey, right? I didn't want to put anything on the kids that was too heavy, um I didn't want to talk about things that would, mess up their development later in life, right? But at a certain point, you can't hold back. Right? This world is full of lies. If you don't tell them that, then they're not gonna be ready. And so there's still a lot I have to tell my kids, And let me go back and read this stuff here. Yeah, the children are our future. It doesn't matter about us. You're right. You're right. Forget about us. Boo hoo. Right? It's over for us. Right? We gotta suck it up and move on, man. But we do gotta help our kids. Right? You gotta protect the children at all costs, even if it's our end. That's right. No doubt, this is a hill to die on. No doubt. You know. And Hannah says, plenty of protests here in Australia. Government doesn't care. Media is still lying. People walking from their jobs because of unlawful vaccine mandate. I said the word. I'm not a doctor, and the CDC has guidelines. That's all I'll say about that. But also, I also say this, if you could read up there. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, if we're waiting for the news to ever not lie, and for all the celebrities to stop influencing people in that kind of way, you know, it's just you know. Well, I appreciate you guys for saying that. I it's hard for me, right? Because I don't really like notice anything special about myself. I don't really. Maybe I'm more patient than a lot of people. I don't know. And I don't know. More willing to hear people out. I don't know. It's hard for me to. I appreciate you guys for saying nice things though, and it does feel good. Thank you. We are. Yeah, you're right, Camo. I mean, I hate to say it, but that's what it is, right? But like I was saying before, right? Like the positive thing about this, right? The silver lining, right? Is that this was all predicted in the Bible, right? And the wonderful thing about kids is before they reach the age of accountability, right? It's automatic, Their their soul goes straight to heaven, I mean, I don't know how do you guys feel about um that type of doctrine, because I've always found comfort in that, you know. And so I know some people have a different interpretation of that, but it seems pretty cut and dry to me, And so as far as God holding us accountable, for certain things, and it always seems like you know you can always feel comfortable about that at least. And so to know people will start waking up and they're up and their neighbors are gone. Oh, okay, okay. No, when people start waking up and their neighbors are gone, it'll stop. We may lose some, but they can't stop us all. Yeah, hey, you're right. And look, I'm one of those people that look. I guess I mean, there's no doubt I want to be part of that group, right? And I don't really care what happens to me. I really don't. I mean, of course, nobody wants to be hungry. Nobody wants to be sick. Nobody wants to die in like severe pain, right? But the idea of death in general does not scare me at all. Zero. You know. Hey, Flat Earth Data, man, it's good to see you, man. It is. It is. I mean, I've been watching your stuff, right? Since like I don't know, it had to be like 4 years ago at least, And he's got good. If you guys like Flat Earth, subscribe to Flat Earth Data. Hey Zero, how you doing? Welcome. And yeah, they want it to buckle. Yeah, of course, it's gonna buckle. I mean, even like if you take all this sick, sinister stuff out of it, right? If you even take that out of it, just financially, it's gonna pop. Let alone the degradation of things, right? I mean, it's gonna get scary. I mean, I only tell you that to so everyone can be prepared. Like I don't say that to be like a fear monger. That, as far as the overall story, we know how it ends. There's nothing to be afraid of on that end, right? Everything that needs to happen for all that stuff to happen is gonna happen. This is God's world, Make no mistake about that. But there are things to be gotta be aware that they're gonna happen, right? Don't be ignorant of the devices of the devil. Oh, that's good water. Oh, I love the taste of water. Of course, that's all I drink. I have Coke once in a while, right? Now I just have, I mean, I have just basically like uh, a very bland diet, and the only thing I drink is water. I don't drink anything else, right? And I used to have a Diet Coke once in a while, right? Like rare, but once in a while. Man, it tastes straight like poison to me, man. I don't know how I could have ever taken a sip of that and thought that's refreshing, And not no offense to anybody that enjoys that, but trust me on this when I say this, it's definitely an acquired taste. You're not born with it that naturally thinking that stuff tastes good. There's no way. There's no way. you know? And I could remember drinking that stuff and being like, ah, I feel great. You know what I mean? With the whole sound and everything that about like how refreshed and stuff that I would be. Yeah, you're right about that world order there. That's right. Yeah, and it sucks, right? It sucks to that. But here, this is the thing, right? Look, I'm not saying anything, but there are certain things that just are true, right? And there are similar things, right, that connect the people that control everything, right? There is some similarities in banking. Um, well, yeah, I mean, I was in the news, expand on that a little bit, Wars. So it's not just the Jays, but have you seen the names? Expand on that. I don't, maybe that's slang for something. I don't know. Yeah, food is plentiful. I mean, come on, man. We're we're all born on this earth, right? We should all have an equal piece of the food. Like it's ridiculous for anyone to be hungry, right? So even if there's these, 9 billion people they say that there are, or whatever, you know, between 7 and 9 billion, right? they say that all those people could fit in the state of Texas, right? And live, right? And so, yeah, the rest of the world is you could grow food on it. So it's ridiculous, man. No one should ever be hungry. No one should ever be hungry. I mean, I can't even like part of having billions and billions and billions of dollars, right? Part of that, right? You have that in your bank account that's attached to your name, right? It's like some trophy, right, that you've accomplished, you know? But part of having that kind of money means you don't care that there's people that don't have enough because there's things you could fix that people aren't fixing, you know? And so that's part of it. I don't know why people associate that with being good or smart or whatever, right? Having excess money to the point where you can't even spend it all, you know? Like it's, I mean, at a certain level, a certain amount of money, right? If you want to even consider that stuff even real, right? If you want to play the game and discuss the game, right? I mean, it's, it's such a made up system. It's like buying Disney dollars, you know? All this stuff that's worth money, right? That they've put value on, right? You know, like gold or diamonds or whatever, right? They put that value on that stuff, right? But even all that stuff is all locked up where no one can see it. It's in a vault somewhere. No one can see the shiny stuff. We have this paper, you know, and even the paper's not even it's not even doesn't even represent that stuff anymore. I mean, it really is messed up, man. You know that Oh, hey, I'll tell you what, Billy, though, owning a boat, right? I mean, everybody that I live in California, right? So I know a lot of people have boats, right? And everybody I know with a boat that's just a regular guy that doesn't have a ton of dough. It's like their worst nightmare, you know. They're like, yeah, I got a boat, you know, but it's like the worst thing in their life. It it literally I'm trying to laugh else is pain, right? But you know, there's people with boats, right, where it's like the only thing in their life that is negative is this boat, you know, and it's always breaking down or like it's costing them money or you know, or it's breaking down. And you know, I wouldn't laugh, but it's like such a commonality, right? It's so common, you know, with the boats, you know. You're very avoid. Oh, okay, okay. Well, then it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter then. Oh, okay, well then, good for you. You know, good for you. And so, yeah, that's great. Great. Um, it says, "Rich became the beggar, Paul became the wise." Always the taker. Yeah, it's true. Oh, you fly too? Cool. Well, I know a few guys. About that. Remember what, Billy? I didn't understand that even. Ah, that's the master. No, anybody's stuff, you know. In fact, if you read the Bible, it's pretty clear. At some point, you're going to realize that God loves the poor. Uh, that's the. It's hard to disagree with that after you read the Bible. And so that we are supposed to be helping each other, you know, especially people that don't have a lot, you know. And I'll tell you what, like sometimes like not having a lot will get you closer to God, you know, because when you have to rely on God, right? you can't rely on just your own stuff and your own material stuff, and sometimes praying is the difference between eating and not eating, right? Then, you could get real spiritual real fast. And so there are some people that I know that don't have very much at all, and they are so happy and close to God. And so I don't know if that's a coincidence, right? I'm not saying that everyone's in the same boat, right? Yeah, and Billy, I'm not saying that, there's anomalies and everything, right? And no one ever said it's a crime to be well off, right? I mean, if you work hard, you work hard, right? And see, you're a farmer or rancher or whatever, and so that's cool. Yeah, you know, God bless you. I'm poor as heck, anti venom. I'm poor as heck, but and sometimes it's going to be honey to people's ears to hear that kind of stuff, right? And sometimes it's going to be hard to hear, but you know, yes, our relationship with God is number one, right? But what's that second commandment, right? Is we're it's a commandment. We got to love each other, and so part of that is doing things that are going to take away from ourselves and add to other people, whether they deserve it or not, right? And it's not up to us to decide that. And so oh no, Billy, if you fly, right? If you fly and you can tell me that you account for Coriolis, or that you I can't even say it with a straight face. I don't know any pilot that can say that. Yes, it's round like a plate. I don't know. There's no If you're not dipping the nose down, you can't fly a plane like that. It has to be you have to be nose up all the time. You can't. Yeah, well, it's not how you spell it, but yes, the Coriolis effect. Yes, and I'm not gonna pick on you for your spelling. We all misspell stuff, so do I. But that's just a straight lie, man. To say that you fly and that that you account for Coriolis. I fired every weapon that you could fire, well, that I could get my hands on in the military, and I never one time in my life ever had to figure out the spin of the earth. Darcy, oh my God, look, this is what an amazing day. Oh man, see, Darcy knows me in real life. What a special lady. I met Darcy at a flat Earth, like a meetup or whatever, and Jaron was there. It's the first time I saw Jaron up or this is the only time I saw Jaron up close. But yeah, it was definitely an experience that it's an odd energy coming from him. Put it that way. But what does that show us on the doll? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh my God, that I just got that now. You spent $65,000 on a Garmin that tells you the Earth is a sphere? Just get a compass. Just get a compass, and it'll tell you that it's not. This is one thing that would be interesting, right? If you're trying to say, right, that there's two magnetic poles, right? And if you're trying to say that, right, you have to presuppose a lot here. And that the Earth, you would say, you're presupposing it as a sphere. Then I would like to see a compass, right? That points south. I want a south pointing compass so that I could really really, I really want to figure out with my south pointing compass, just I'll do the calculations in reverse, so bring that next time. You don't have to bring a $65,000 Garmin. Just bring a south pointing compass, right? It points to the South Pole, and that would be enough for me to start working on it. I hate to say this, Billy. I mean, I know it's hard to accept things like this in life, right? But we're at a point now with how much evidence that there is, that it's just time to just accept it, right? It's like it's time. I used to debate these things, right? But it's time to just accept that we've been lied to. It's not just that one or two little technicalities show that the Earth is not a sphere that's spinning. It's every single proof in aims in that direction, right? And the ones that don't, there's always some kind of trick or some kind of illusion involved, right? And so, I mean, you can bring things to me one at a time, and I can tear them apart. That's up to you. But or you can just watch a couple of videos, and see, when we got into this flat Earth thing, we used to have to put these together, like a little piece here, a little piece there, a little piece of truth here, and we had to put these things together. I mean, I had to like sit down and think of stuff like, okay, wait, you can shoot radio waves to the moon. All right, so because I wanted it to be a sphere at first, it was uncomfortable, right? I didn't like the whole flat Earth situation, right? At first, and I was thinking ways like, no, what's a way a regular person could just prove this wrong? Like, it's got to be a way. And every single thing that I looked into has, or like, I mean, that Foucault pendulum is the most ridiculous thing in history, because if a Foucault pendulum is detecting Earth spin, right, and knocking over the dominoes, because the Earth is spinning, right, free of the pendulum, right? Well then, that effect would be apparent on everything: balloons, helicopters, airplanes, anything that can be in the air, right, would be affected by it. So the other, you can't both. You can't say um, this is picking up all, but the helicopter in the sky doesn't pick up any earth spin. So both things can't be true. I mean, that's just off the bat, even if you believe in both things, you know? And there's a lot of stuff like that, right? The one thing that did get me, you want to know what got me? And I had to really think about it for a long time. And Nathan unpacked this for me, and I'm sure that he got it from somewhere. I don't know, right? But um, the thing that got me was the star rotation, right? Because the stars do that, right? They go one way in the north and one way in the south, right? Like, how do they? I don't get that. Like, how does that happen? Um, it does suggest antipodal star rotation, right? But here's the trick, right? You have to assume that at the North Pole, right, one pole of a sphere, and that you're walking over a curve, and there's stars under your butt, right, on the other side of the Earth or whatever, right? And then you go, and then when you walk to the other side, right, that you're looking at it from another angle. When in reality, you've never walked over any curve. You are never on a sphere. You just walk straight out to the horizon, right? And so the fact that the stars do that, they just do that. It has nothing to do with the curve. You have to in your mind, right, believe that you're on the sphere to begin with. Because if no one ever told you about a sphere, you would just say, oh, those stars go one way and then the other way, whatever. Yeah, I know. but that was the hardest thing to figure out. I mean, it's simple now, right? But at that time, it's like, man, how do you reconcile that, right? Well, you know, they all what is it? Now I'm gonna forget it. They rise on on one side and then set on the other, right? And so it's the direction of your head, right? It's if you're facing one way, they go one way, and if you're facing the other way, they go the other way. Why would you say that? Why would you say bunch of demons? Why would you say that? That's not nice. Why would you say that people? That's crazy. Why would you say that people are a bunch of demons? That's not very nice, Mr. Strange 369. I'm not mean to you. Yeah, I don't think I like what you're saying. But you know, hey, look, I was there at one where it was hard for me to accept that stuff too. But I mean, now with all the videos that are out now, like I mean, look, you don't have to go to a video. There's other mediums to learn, right? You don't, you know, if you hate YouTube, right? YouTube videos are the worst place to learn, right? If that's your theory, right? Even though it's you can learn anything on YouTube, how to fix a car, how to raise chickens, how to, you know, anything you want to learn, you can find on YouTube. But if you prefer a book, right? You know, I know Eric Dubay wrote a couple books about flat Earth, right? And so did Samuel Robotham, right? So you like books, and go get a couple books, you know. Hey, you know, Michigan, or it wouldn't even be worth that. For I would rather continue. I would rather continue than pay $500 to anybody like that, you know. And see, I was in the army, right? So I have this other perspective, right? That like, you know what? I understand freedom of speech, right? I mean, it sucks, right? Because if someone can say anything, they can make up whatever they want, right? I think they should have some kind of proof before they say something crazy, and it's not nice to twist things. And trust me, you might not see God, but God is the biggest factor on earth, right? And nobody gets away with anything, right? Just because I don't do something about it doesn't mean something's not being done. And so just remember that, you know. And right, God knows the truth, right? The only thing I pray for is that everybody gets to know it, you know, the actual truth, you know. I don't care if people know my side or my story. The truth is fine with me, you know? And so it is what it is, right? And so people can say what they want, right? But God told me that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. And it hasn't. The channel's gotten bigger, people have gotten tighter, we're getting more love. People are showing me a lot of empathy, which I'm not used to in my life, you know? It's actually quite healing, you know? And so, you know, God will use even the evil for his own good, right? For his good, right? And so it is what it is, right? And so I mean, hey, look, I hate it for you, man. You know, if your goal is, you know, something nefarious, you know, but I know that if I do what I'm supposed to do and try my best, I know that God will always be faithful. He'll never let me down. And he hasn't. And so you know, that's a promise he makes to all of us, you know. If we pray and have faith enough, it will happen, you know. And you know, try not to lean on our own understanding, but he won't let anything hurt us. And if you resist the devil, he will flee from you. And that's a fact. And it depends on how much it depends on how much you believe in the word, you know. Well, if you're saved by Jesus Christ, right? That's awesome, right? That exactly what we want doesn't matter, right? But here's the thing: if you're saved by Jesus Christ, right, this is phenomenal. That makes me happy, brother. You're my brother, right? Well, Jesus is my favorite flat earther of all time. So, I mean, to me, that's wonderful. And you're right. It's not everybody's job to know everything. That's right. That's right. The earth being a sphere or a flat doesn't affect your salvation. It doesn't. I'm glad you brought that up because it is important to know that. And so, yeah, time is short. We're getting so close to the end that like we really it's hard to waste time on like pettiness, It is. Like, yeah, okay, it's kind of fun to debate a little bit. Okay, so okay, if you're saying that, right, Billy, right? If you're flying uh let's say you're flying from California and you're going to fly north, right? Um how much spin should you calculate for, and what's the formula, right, for when you land? Like how fast is your spinning when you take off, right? And how fast when you land? I mean, because you're going to need to know that, right? What is the formula exactly? Oh, it rotates. Okay, well then, hey, that's great. So just go ahead and put the formula in the box. It should be off the top of your head, since you do it all the time, and show the people what we're dealing with, and then We'll go and break down the math because it's your lucky day. I'm good at math. So we're going to go ahead and break down the formula, right, from when you take off in California, right, and you're flying north, right? What exactly is the amount of spin you lose per we'll go by for each line of latitude, right? How much do you lose, right? What's the formula? Oh, you don't know because there isn't one. See, look, it's so easy, right? It's so easy, right? Well, why would you lie about that? Why would you start up our whole thing with a lie, right? Like, why would you lie to me and say that you calculate for some kind of spin, but you don't know the math, right? It would be important, right? Wouldn't you die if you landed the plane thinking that the Earth was spinning 1,000 miles an hour when it was really spinning 4 miles an hour, right? Or 100 miles an hour less. You would need to know that, especially with the Earth spinning left well, east to west, right? If you're flying north and only north and land north, okay. So then, if we're gonna break it down with the magnetic drift, then just tell me the number for the variable, then, and then I'll go ahead and break it down for you. Since you know about magnetic drift, put the number in. It's easy to play tennis. It's easy to volley this back and forth, Billy. If you don't know it and you're saying that it exists, right, and you fly, well, then it's a lie, or you're not a good pilot, or it's a miracle you're alive, right? What are we talking about, man? Come on, man. I think our debate is over. And I'm sorry if I embarrassed you a little bit, but it's just it you know, it's not good to mislead people. Every pilot that I know, right, that's honest about it, right, is like eh, they're open with the fact that it's the earth is flat. You can see, the Rockies from like Kansas. They're open about it. I know a lot of pilots that are very open about it. And if you're gonna land and factor in Earth spin and all this stuff, you would know the formula. I mean, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to put you out there like that, but God bless you, man. I mean, I made mistakes too, and or whatever. So I'm not perfect either. So I'm not trying to embarrass you. But anyway, um, ooh, that sounds good, Mr. Gander. You're cooking with ginger root. I know a friend of mine, he eats like ginger, carrots, garlic, and something else every morning on a piece of broccoli every morning. Yeah, there's no curve. It would have to be going at 8 inches per mile square the distance, right? And so that would be easy to calculate. And so if people are saying that on the ground with your feet touching the ground, you can see a boat going over the curve, right? But from 120,000 feet in the air, you can't see it. So just picture it like this, right? If you're like an ant on a basketball, right? The more you the more you come off the basketball and away from it, the bigger the curve is, right? The more of the ball you can see, the more curve you can see, right? And if in on the ball it would be the least amount. So if you can detect it with your feet touching the ground, then there should be no way that you shouldn't be able to see it. I mean, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to embarrass him. Now he's look, don't double down, man. That's Yeah, but you have to tell me what the Y stands for. Like that's not how algebra works. If you have a variable, you have to tell me what the variable means, right? So is the Y the magnetic drift? I mean, come on, man. Look, why are you trying to fake the funk, man? That's not how it works, man. And see, it's sad because there are people that would probably think that you're saying something smart and like you would fool them. You want to fool people? I mean, come on, man. Why would you want to deceive people? Like, what do you get out of that? What do you get out of not accepting the truth, right? And then trying to trick somebody with some kind of smart sounding stuff, right? I mean, that's evil on its best day? I mean, come on, man. Come on. You're going to throw out all these variables and not. Come on, man. Well, yeah, I mean, you can't help but feel for these guys, but also, you know what? Like this guy's going to go out and trick somebody that doesn't know the difference? And that's just sad. Mag drift, mag drift has been 16 last 2 years. What does that even mean? What are you saying? Uh, that it's incoherent what you're saying. Okay, you said you fly an aircraft. I didn't dispute that. Yeah, it's a waste for me to do this. You're embarrassing yourself, man. Please. It's starting to get embarrassing for me. To you know what I mean? I'm starting to feel really I'm absorbing your pain right now. Oh, I'm gonna cry for you later, man. You know that? Like, not in a weak way, but I'm just gonna hope that you don't hurt anybody. So you eat raw garlic and ginger root, and so yeah, that's what my friend does. Raw garlic and raw ginger, and oh, see, Camo knows. Why don't you debate Camo? Camo will shred you up. Go debate Arwen. Everybody thinks they're better than Arwen. Well, go debate Arwen. See what happens. That's one thing Arwen is good at. Show me Sasquatch. He says, "Why do I put up with this? Why do I?" Because you know what, Sasquatch. This is the crazy part, right? Is that not everybody's at the same spot, right? And everyone has a different distance to go, right? And even though it might be someone that's just trolling, right? And they're not trying to be reasonable, right? Um, the way I the way I react to that person will help maybe another person watching. You see what I mean? And so there's a lot of variables to consider that I don't even know why I'm aware of all that stuff. I wasn't always like this. It just you know but I get your sentiment. I get your sentiment. Like if it was about me, right, I would not waste my time with that. That's it's not a good way to spend my time. But if somebody was brand new and they were coming in here and they saw me just like kick someone out for having a different opinion, right? It might make them think that I want an echo chamber in here, and I don't. I want the truth to be the prevailing thing, right? But not because I'm holding out all the other opinions, because that's a cult, you know. That's a cult if you can't say another opinion, right? But if you're gonna put something down here, and if if I show it to be wrong, right, then that's on them, you know. And hopefully someone gets something out of that. Like if people try to do that to you, you know, try to trick you with like uh smart sounding stuff, you know. It's how many are still pure blood? Oh yeah, hey, I'm not yet, Rob, and I say yet, but I'll die on that hill, you know. The only way that they can get me to do it is if they hold me down and do it, right? Because I'm not doing it. I'm willing to die, you know. And so that's just what it is. It could be vitamin C, and it could be absolutely good for me, and you know it could be what they say it is or whatever, and I still don't want it, you know. Billy, come on, man. At least I'm glad that you came around. Hey, look, man, we reached somebody. That's the fastest I've ever seen anybody switch. One person, oh man, I told this one lady, right? I was talking to her about it, and she was like, "No, I've been to Indonesia, blah blah blah," right? And all these different things, right? Uh, yeah, that's right. Be kind to one another, you know. And I do feel kind of bad for calling them out, but you kind of deserve it a little bit coming in here like that. But for me to boot them or whatever, or to but in my real life, if a guy like that came up to me, I wouldn't waste my time. Sasquatch is right about that. I do understand what he's saying. But in on here, when it's like we have an opportunity to show people, how things that happen in the world and why people end up the way they are is because we trust experts, right? Go to a doctor and you trust them, that they're an expert in their field and that we assume they know more, and we end up in trouble, Um, you can't assume that somebody knows more than you. I mean, especially based just on if they're wearing a different coat, because I don't remember one doctor I've ever been to that I've seen their actual diploma. So think about how scary that is, right? I mean, they could have been anybody, you know? And so how much do we really check, right? How much do we really test people, you know? But yeah, prayers. Wait, Rob, what are you saying, Rob? You're giving me strength to hold. Hey, you know what? Hey, listen, Rob. I'm willing to die for this situation, right? That's where I'm at with it. If and now I'm a veteran, right? And I depend on the government for my living. If they turned off my money, right, because of the not getting the thing right, then that's so be it. You know, I would go find another way. As hard as that would be, right? I would have to make it another way. Because here's the thing, right? And Rob, I'm just gonna say it this way, right? So let's say that you do get it, right? Just to get it out of the way, just to keep your job, right? Um, um, they're gonna ask you to get another one and another one and another one. It won't end. The first one won't be enough. Eventually, it's gonna be, oh, okay, well the regular people aren't good enough now. They need another one, and then they need another one, and then they need another one. And so even if they were asking me, say, Stephen, you have to wear this pair of pants or else you can't go to the store, you know? Well, I'm not wearing the pants, man. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing a this for that kind of thing. Because if I wear the pants, right, then that means that my children have to wear the pants and my grandchildren have to wear the pants. right? At some point, someone needs to say no, right? So like the reason why we're trading money and digital numbers, right, instead of having gold in our hands is because somebody made a deal a long time before we were born, right? That they would just take paper and all the stuff of value, they just traded it, you know? Oh, we'll just use this paper instead. You guys hold the gold, right? Well, that we didn't make that decision, but we have to live with it, right? And the people that made that decision are long gone, right? And so there are things, right? Now, of course, I don't think that we're going to be here very much longer. I think that um, that we're very close to the ending point of this, right? But even if it were to continue on for 20, 30, 100 years, right? There's decisions that I have to make now, right? Because it will affect generations after me, right? And we can't keep going in this direction where we get softer and softer and softer each generation where until there's no men to fight the wars anymore. And I hate to say it like that, right? Because I don't think anybody's has more or less value based on gender or anything. I don't. Trust me, I don't. But if we don't have like freedom is not something that you fight for 200 years ago and you just get to keep having it. That's not how it works. You can't say, "Oh yeah, we won a war 1,000 years ago or whatever, and we won the freedom and now we have it." That's not how it works. And so, Rob, you have my support, and I will pray for you faithfully, Rob. I will. I'm so glad that you come here for support and strength, and I'm proud to be that for you. And well, where do you live at exactly? I mean, I don't you don't have to say, but are you in California somewhere? Oh my God, this is just. Maybe we should have a talk about this, Rob. I remember. Yeah, I remember. Oh, Rob, man, this is devastating, man. How long have they given you to made that decision? Oh man, this sucks, man. In America, you have a little more leeway. I don't know exactly how the rules are up there. Well, oh wow, man. So is it a type of work that you could get? Um, you know, could you live on less? That kind of these are the questions, right? And just remember this: for every 2.5 jobs that are lost out in the world, right? Um, one job is created at Amazon alone. So, um, maybe we should probably have a talk about this, man. Email me and maybe we could go over some of this stuff. And if you want to give your contact information up for people to email you, maybe they'll have some good input too. That's what this kind of group is for. If you feel comfortable putting out like your email, or if you want to go make an email and then come back to next show and put it out for people to email you at to get some ideas, right? More, get our heads together and figure it out. That's right. That's right, Michigander. Real men scare the meek, man. Because if you don't comply, right, with the devil, right? If you don't comply with the devil, that's the biggest enemy, right, of the system, right, is a righteous, free-thinking man, and that goes to tell you what kind of. Okay, next show. So yeah, no, and I don't blame you, Rob. I don't blame you. Go ahead and make like a Yahoo whatever, and then next show is tomorrow at 7 in the morning, or I'm on at 7 again at night at California time. And so just put it in here, and then I'll touch base. Well, yeah, we're at a point now, Michigan, where like everyone puts there's curses on everything. You know, the thing is that like the way I do it, right? And I know that like there are people here that can help you with like deliverance and stuff like that. And um I know Shepherd's Voice can do stuff like that. I mean, I pray hard, about like things not affecting me and witchcraft and all that. And I'm not sure exactly what affects me. I just believe with all my heart that God protects me. And but there are people I can go to if I'm starting to have some kind of problems, for sure. I mean, it's so much we don't know, right? I mean, we just live on lies. And I can't believe they're closing their borders, man. I mean, we're born on this earth. We should be able to go wherever we want, you know? Like it's insanity, man. And then we got to deal with, people wanting to say they fly airplanes and they know the earth is round, right? That's nonsense, and we could be dealing with this. See how evil the devil just wants to take your time. Wait, a time vampire. Waste your time so that everyone else has to suffer. It's very selfish. It's very selfish. That's all I got to say about that. Anybody that would try to like, have channels where they're gonna lie and try to prevent people from coming here or give people a bad impression of what this place is, right? An actual safe place that people can go, right? That people can trust, right? And then to say derogatory things about it to keep people from coming here. That's evil on its best day too. You know? Okay, Rob. So that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do is uh, either put an email in here tomorrow, or even email it to me and I'll put it out if you want, and then we'll get a bunch of opinions going. And you know, hey, you know what? But see, God knows that too, Rob. God knows that you got to stay there too. This is this. I can't. I mean, you probably already know this, right? And you probably already are doing it. But I can't stress enough how important it is to talk to God continuously. As much as you can about this. And I know that God is faithful. God is faithful. He will open doors for you. Everything is for a reason, right? The story is completed. So everything that's supposed to happen will happen. And we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah, we went a little bit late. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Faith. I appreciate that. But yeah, I went a little over today, and so you know what? But it's good to chill, man. I don't want to watch the stream. If I can hold people's attention for a little bit, I'll keep it going. I just know my limits sometimes. I start repeating myself, and then it gets. Rob, you're welcome. Anytime, anytime. It's the least that I could do. The least that I could do. And so, email me if you need me. Okay, bud. And so, God bless you guys, and praise Jesus for His sacrifice and His grace, right? And just know that this life is a vapor. It's going to be over before we know it. And we don't count years. And, like we're eternal beings, right? Like billions of years are nothing to us. And so try to keep the main thing, right? And that's you know that there is a um, redemption, and there is a another plan for us. So God bless you guys. Praise Jesus for His sacrifice and His grace. Pray for the kids. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.